This is the Three Grey Monkeys GDPR Toolbox for Dynamics 365. So the solution installs as a separate app which can be available through the main menu here, and then navigating to that takes you to the GDPR dashboard, which is the home screen for a quick overview of GDPR requests that have come into the system that are not completed. And then down here we have a grid for the contacts that are due to be reviewed, and the same for accounts and the same for leads. And again, we've got a couple of charts here just showing GDPR requests that, but based on deadlines, so we can see which requests are coming up to their deadline, and also a breakdown of the GDPR requests by type in this pie chart on the side. So from the main menu, we've got the three types of records that have been enabled with the additional GDPR information that can be stored against them, as well as the dashboard that we've just seen, and the ability to store GDPR requests as they come into the business. So the contacts, accounts and leads have the same GDPR section across those. So I will just show you the contact version of that. So if we open our example contact, and if we scroll down, there's a new section called GDPR, which shows any GDPR requests that have been logged by this contact in the system, and also additional details that we can store against that contact. So we can see if they've opted out of GDPR. We can also check the data classification, so whether it's personal or sensitive data. If sensitive data is selected, then you'll see there's a notification at the top which just points out that one of you must meet the conditions listed in Article 9 of the GDPR guidelines. So if we change this to personal data, that will go away. We can also store the legitimate basis for storing this this contact information in the first place. If it's consent, then you will get an additional method of consent option, so you can confirm how you obtain the consent. If it's contract based, then that field will hide itself. And again, these fields here, we've got an area for comments around GDPR, the data that we hold. Also a last review date, so we use this on the dashboard, so anything that hasn't been reviewed within the last 12 months will display in the dashboard basically. And then again, we can jump in here to one of the specific GDPR requests that's come in from that contact, and on here we can see we've got the different types of requests that can come in, so the 8 rights of the individuals. So this one is right to rectification. We can store the details for this specific GDPR request. We can also log whether it's a contact that has approached the organization or whether it's someone who's listed as a lead. This basically just gives us a quick way of them being able to set and link it to the contact or the lead or the account that it's come in from. We have a business process that for all new records will show up at the top, and it sort of guides you through the process. So the recording phase is where you would fill in the type of request, the details for it, the date at which it was requested, and then the deadline will get automatically populated to a month in the future. Also just confirming there that it's a contact that's sent the request in. And the next stage of the process is basically to mark whether the processing has begun, so whether you've started actioning the request that's come in. The stage after that is whether the data subject has been informed about the outcome of the request, also the date of that, and then the method in which we've communicated the output of the request to the individual. And the final stage is just to say that the request has been completed, everything's been actioned, the subject has been informed, and all actions applied for them. And that is the GDPR Toolbox. Hopefully you found this useful. We will be adding in additional functionality to make this even easier to support your ongoing GDPR compliance within Dynamics 365. And if you've got any questions, then feel free to give us a shout or drop us an email at info@3greymonkeys.com.